lot of you messaging me asking a very similar question. So I wanted to hop onto a live and talk about that today because it's a really important subject. And you've been asking, how do I do it? What is the process to fall in love with myself and my body? Or what is the process to build a loving relationship with myself and my body? And it can feel like such a fluffy concept, really non-tangible and hard to actually begin. So maybe you don't even begin the process. You don't even think about how to build a loving relationship with yourself because it's so hard to grasp. How do I make this a reality for myself? This is what we've been discussing in my program with the Fit and Fabulous ladies for the last few weeks. It's how do we do this? So I've jumped on this live to bring some clarity, and so you can begin to understand that it's actually tangible, it's actually doable, and you can build a loving relationship with yourself and your body. There's this really amazing psychotherapist called Esther Perel, and she talks about, so she works with couples on building a more profound, a deeper connection with one another. And I'd like to talk about her wisdom and bring that into you building a relationship with yourself and your body. So she talks about how it's important that we don't ask our partner to love us in ways that we are not capable of loving ourselves. So this is something that we have a tendency to do, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's with our friends, with our co-workers. Maybe it's not love that we're asking from them. Maybe it's acceptance. Maybe it's that they mirror back to us that we're worthy, that we're good enough, that we're attractive enough, that we're strong enough, that we're capable enough. And so we need the outer world to tell us what we are, to tell us our worth, to tell us whether we are good enough to be loved. So I'd like to introduce you to the idea that when you love yourself and you know inside of yourself that you are enough, that you are worthy, then you no longer need to look to the outside world to have that reflected back to you. And what that creates is a life where you're free from needing to seek that acceptance outside because you already have it for yourself. You don't need to adapt to the outer world to make yourself fit in to what is seemingly acceptable for others. You're no longer blaming or shaming. It's a really beautiful place to be. So I'd like you to look at your relationship with yourself as the same as any relationship in your life. So let's say you're in a partnership with somebody and that person is really, really nice to you for a few days. They listen to what you say, they reply to what you say, they hold space, they tell you how much they love you, how much they care about you, how great you look, how good you are at the things that you do. And then suddenly one morning they wake up and they no longer listen, they no longer hold space, they no longer tell you that they love you, they no longer tell you what you're good at. Instead, they tell you everything that you're bad at. They don't hear a thing that you say. They have no time for you. Imagine how you would feel being in a relationship with somebody who treats you in that way. Now I'd like you to look at your relationship with yourself and ask yourself, do you say I love you ever to yourself? Do you look at the things that you are good at? Are you proud of yourself for the things that you do well? Or are you constantly criticizing yourself, expecting yourself to be better at everything and not really focusing on what is going well in your life? So it's actually beginning there, realizing that your relationship with yourself and your body is the same as any relationship in your life. It requires attention, it requires effort, it requires presence, it requires that you listen to your needs. And part of that is becoming familiar with the parts of yourself that are more challenging and holding space for those. It's just like if your son or daughter were to come up to you upset because they're having a bad day and they start to tell you what's happening and you say to them, you know what, I just don't have time right now. Go and sort it out yourself. And how often do we do that to ourselves? When we're having a bad day, when we're upset, when we're angry, frustrated, we're like, you know what? I don't have time for this right now. I will deal with it in another moment. And then we go off and we distract ourselves with food, with the television, with our phones. And so it's actually embodying the fact that that element within us also needs to be seen and heard. Building a relationship with all that you are. And part of that is your body. So with my Fit and Fabulous Lady, with all of the people who join my free events, my workshops, we talk about all of this. It's the embodying of all that you are. And part of that, a huge part of it, is your body. To build a loving relationship with your body is building a relationship with a third of what you are. So you've got the mental, emotional, you've got the physical, you've got the spiritual. Yeah, so it's about building a relationship with all three and unifying those three so that you feel whole and you feel at one with yourself. Okay, that's good for today. November 1st and 2nd, I'm doing 2 amazing 60-minute transformational sessions, all around feeling confident and sexy in your body. And what that actually means, how you can actually make that a reality for yourself. Not because the outer world is telling you look amazing, because you feel it within yourself. Yeah, so you feel strong, empowered, and you embody all that you are. I've shared the link to that in the description to this video, wherever it appears. Yeah, and we're going to be doing that. What date is it today? In a couple of weeks' time. Okay, so sign up to that free event, share it with your friends. This is going to be for women specifically, this one, because we're going to be talking about female emotions, female cycles, female body, yeah? So share it with your friends and family you feel will benefit from it as well. And I'll see you on the inside. Any questions, pop them in the comments, yeah? And I will see you again soon. Mwah. Love you guys.